Your e-bike battery might have far more range than you're actually getting out of it. One simple change can add real miles without buying a bigger battery. Another common mistake can quietly drain your battery every single ride without you ever noticing. And one charging habit most owners think is completely harmless can quietly shrink your battery's range over time. So here are 10 free ways to squeeze more range out of the battery you already have. And make sure you stay until number 1, because it's the trick most e-bike owners never think about. And, on the right ride, it can make your battery last dramatically longer. Let's start with number 10. The tire mistake quietly eating your range. Underinflated tires create more rolling resistance, which means your motor has to work harder just to hold the same speed, burning through battery the entire time to fight a problem that takes 2 minutes to fix. It's one of the most common range killers, precisely because the bike still rides fine, just a little sluggish, so most people never think to check. Check your tire pressure cold with an actual gauge, and bring it into the range printed on the tire's sidewall or your bike's manual. If you're riding on tires that feel soft to the touch, there's a good chance you're already losing range before you've pedaled a single mile. Less resistance means less power your motor needs to spend just maintaining speed, which is exactly the battery you get to keep for the rest of your ride. But your tires aren't the only thing making your motor work harder than it should. Number 9, your brakes might be fighting your battery. A brake pad that's even slightly rubbing creates constant resistance, and most riders never notice it's there because the bike still feels basically fine. Lift each wheel off the ground and give it a spin. If it slows down unusually fast, or you hear a faint rubbing sound, check whether the pad is contacting the rim or rotor and realign the caliper so both sides have even clearance. You're not adding power here, you're removing resistance your motor has been quietly fighting for the entire ride, and the next range killer is even easier to fix. Number 8, you don't need turbo for this. Riding everywhere in turbo or boost mode is one of the fastest ways to burn through a battery, and a lot of riders do it purely out of habit, not because they actually need that much assistance for the ride they're on. Switch to eco, or a lower assist level on flat ground and normal cruising, and save your higher assist modes for hills, starts, headwinds, or moments where you actually need the extra push. Most e-bikes let you switch modes on the fly, so this costs you nothing but a glance at the display. You don't need turbo to cruise down a flat road at 15 miles an hour, and that's exactly the kind of riding where the highest assist setting is doing you no favors at all. But there's a smarter way to use the motor than just turning the power down. Number 7, let your legs do this one job. Launching from a complete stop and demanding maximum motor assistance immediately is one of the least efficient things you can ask a battery to do. Pedal through your starts yourself and build up speed progressively instead of asking the motor to do all the work of accelerating the entire bicycle from zero. Save the battery for maintaining your speed, not repeatedly launching the whole bike from a dead stop every time you hit a light. Once you're actually moving, though, there's another mistake that gets much worse the faster you go. Number 6, the last few miles per hour that cost the most. This is one of the biggest range factors most riders have never even considered, because it has nothing to do with the motor at all, it's wind resistance, and it doesn't rise gradually as you speed up. It rises fast, faster than most people expect, which is exactly why the last few miles per hour of top speed cost so much more battery than the first few. Dropping your cruising speed from 28 down to 22 or 23 miles an hour might not feel dramatically slower while you're riding it, but your battery notices the difference immediately because it's fighting noticeably less air resistance the entire time. On a long ride where range actually matters, back off your top speed slightly. A small reduction in speed can produce a disproportionately large improvement in how far you actually get out of the same battery. And speed isn't the only thing quietly deciding how hard your battery has to work. Number 5, the button that can destroy your range. If your e-bike has a throttle, the kind you twist or press to move without pedaling at all, this can be one of the fastest ways to burn through your battery, and almost nobody thinks about it. Ride on throttle without pedaling, and the motor has to do essentially all the work of moving you and the bike. In pedal assist mode, your own legs are contributing real power alongside the motor, which means the battery isn't covering the entire load by itself. Two riders on the exact same e-bike, covering the exact same distance, can get dramatically different range depending on which one they used. If range matters, save the throttle for starts or short bursts when you need it, and use pedal assist for most of the ride. It's the same bike and the same battery, doing a very different amount of work. But everything so far happens while you're actually riding. The next mistake can hurt your range before you even leave home. Number 4, the mistake that happens before you even ride. Temperature affects your battery more than most riders realize, and it starts working against you long before you clip in. A very cold battery can temporarily deliver noticeably less usable performance than the same battery at room temperature. You might see reduced range on a freezing morning ride that has nothing to do with anything you did wrong. Excessive heat, on the other hand, is genuinely bad for your battery's long-term health, not just today's ride. A battery baking in a hot car or a sun-exposed garage all summer degrades faster than one stored somewhere reasonable. And a battery that's simply aged and degraded may no longer hold anywhere close to its original usable capacity, no matter what you do on the road that day. Store and charge your battery according to the manufacturer's temperature guidance, and avoid leaving it sitting in a hot car or a freezing garage longer than you have to. But the next trick costs absolutely nothing, and most riders never think about it. Number 3, the charging habit that's shrinking your range. How you charge your battery day to day affects how much total range it can hold months and years from now. And most owners charge exactly the way that wears a battery down fastest. Avoid running the battery all the way to empty whenever you can. And if your manufacturer supports charge limits, you don't necessarily need to charge to 100% after every short ride. Save full charges for days when you actually need the maximum range. This isn't about today's ride, it's about whether your battery still holds close to its original range 2 or 3 years from now, instead of quietly shrinking a little more with every full cycle. Now, we're getting to the 2 tricks that can make the biggest difference of anything on this list. Number 2, the dry chain quietly stealing your range. A dry or grimy chain creates real friction in your drivetrain, the same drag you'd feel pedaling a regular bicycle, except now your motor is the one quietly compensating for it, burning extra battery on every single rotation, just to overcome resistance that shouldn't be there. Wipe the chain clean, apply proper bicycle chain lube to the rollers, let it work in, then wipe away the excess. It's one of the most overlooked range factors on this entire list because the motor can mask the extra drivetrain resistance. It quietly picks up the slack, and your battery pays for it. It costs almost nothing and takes 10 minutes, and unlike buying a bigger battery, it's maintenance you should be doing anyway. But there's one trick that combines almost everything we've talked about, and this is the one you've been waiting for. Number 1, the range hack that actually works. Here's the trick, and it's simpler than anyone wants it to be. Don't ask the motor for maximum power when you don't actually need maximum power. Think of it as 2 different ways to ride the exact same bicycle. Normal riding looks like high assist and cruising near your bike's maximum assisted speed the whole time. Range riding looks like eco or a medium assist level, actively pedaling instead of leaning on the motor, and a moderately lower cruising speed. Here's what most owners never realize. The manufacturer's advertised maximum range number is almost always achieved under exactly those favorable low assist conditions. Not by riding around all day in maximum assist at maximum speed and expecting to hit that same number. On the right e-bike, riding this way instead of blasting around in max assist at max speed can potentially give you dramatically more range, in some situations approaching twice the distance out of the exact same battery. Same battery, same motor, same bicycle. You simply stopped wasting the energy you already had. Stop buying range you already have. Before you spend hundreds of dollars on a bigger battery, fix the things quietly draining the one you already have. Because sometimes getting more range doesn't require adding more battery. It just means wasting less of it. How much range are you actually getting from your e-bike right now? Drop the number in the comments.